or printers or scanners, etc., is a network.
Yes, Naresh, you're on spot. So, what is a network? So, network means like a group of a group. It can be two or more devices that are connected together. But what is the purpose of the connecting the two devices? There should be some purpose, right? If the two or more devices are connected, like for example, the laptops is connected or anything. So, the main purpose of that one is to share the information or the data between the each other, correct?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I just repeat it. So network means like a group of two or more devices. It could be two laptop or two network devices or a laptop and a mobile to connect and to share some kind of information among themselves. For example, if you see here, like most of the time you have seen that you'll be connecting to your laptop or desktop to for the file sharing. If you're already working on a working, so you usually do the file sharing to share some kind of information or to store the data, or you give the printer some commands to get the output. So basically, that's the meaning of network. It is same thing like this first statement. It could be network devices or it could be printers to connect or to share some kind of information. It could be in the form of exchanging files or the data. Okay. So how are these two devices are connected? So when you say the two devices are connected, there are two ways that devices can be connected. So two or three ways. One is through cables. I think nowadays, though that we call it as a LAN cables, but ideally two devices will be connected through cables or through Wi-Fi. But apart from that, is there any other way that two devices can be connected apart from wired and wireless? Like radio waves. So radio
Yeah,
waves like
waves. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Bluetooth or through the satellite. Like some devices, they communicate with the satellites also, like GSM mobiles. GSM mobiles can contact each other or exchange the information using the satellites. So, in a nutshell, what is a network? A network is nothing but a group of two devices connected to share some kind of information. It could be data, or it could be exchange of files, or it could be something. Is this clear? Okay.
Yes.
So as I said, it can be copper wire or Wi-Fi. They can exchange. So now with mobiles, like some people, I think some are logged in mobile. So with the mobiles, you connect and we are sharing some information, right? So that is also called a network or Wi-Fi or a Bluetooth. So these are some of the examples of network. Okay. Now,
What?
what I want to ask,
Sorry, what is the fundamental difference between Wi-Fi and Bluetooth?
see, Bluetooth, which will have a Wi-Fi, is having some wider area wherein, like, if you have a Wi-Fi, for example, let me take you have a 1,000 square feet house, and if you have a Wi-Fi, that Wi-Fi signal can almost reach up to the all the complete 1,000 square feet building. But Bluetooth has a limited. You cannot you cannot have one Bluetooth enabled on one mobile, and you cannot take it to a longer distance, right?
But fundamentally both the same, but it just in terms
The
of
distance,
capacity.
capacity,
Why? Yeah.
exactly,
Okay, that's fine.
exactly, capacity. So then now the next thing is like general word. What do you mean by networking? So now you understood network, right? Network is a group of two devices connected to share the information. It
Yeah.
could be through cables or through wireless or through radio waves or any other medium. But what do you mean by networking?
It's a
So I,
systematic process of connecting devices, multiple devices from various
yes,
different areas.
yeah, like networking means like it's a process of how the two devices will be connected to exchange the information. So networking, like we call that social networking sites or something like that. See, what are those? Those are the process or the medium wherein people will connect and exchange the information, right? So that's the difference between network and networking. Networking is nothing but it's a process which is used to connect the two devices to make the networking happen, information happen. It can be hardware, or it could be protocols, or it could be software, or it could be wireless or wired technologies. So this is a fundamental difference between network. Network is two or more groups devices connected to share the information. Networking is a process that enables the two devices or two or more devices to make the data sharing possible. Okay, so this is a some kind of a like what is the difference between uh, the networking and network. So same thing, whatever we discussed, it is in one tabular column. So you can just go through that once I share the slide with you. Is this clear? What is the difference between network and networking?
Yeah.
Okay, next, move on to the next slide. Intranet. So what do you mean by intranet? So you must have heard about internet, right? You must have heard about extranet, but have you heard about intranet?
Yes.
Okay, good. So what is intranet? Intranet is a communication inside an organization or inside in a domain. Okay, so the communication inside the intranet will be a private. That means it is, as I said, it is inside an organization or inside in a company, and it will be a private communication, and external users cannot communicate with the intranet. Okay, so like for example, if you're working in any organization, there will be intranet wherein some applications or some databases, it will be only used by the users inside the organizations. So that we call it as an intranet, right? So then what is extranet?
Wider. It's communication externally, or I think similar to internet. I think.
It's a
Yeah,
public
so
communications.
yeah, it's a similar to, it is similar to intranet. So here intranet is a private communication inside an organization. Let's take an IBM. IBM for internal users they use for communication. We could call that as an intranet. But IBM will have a third party suppliers or vendors or some users they wanted to access the inside the thing. Then it is called as an extranet. So extranet is similar to our intranet, but typically, as I said, it will be to the business partners, OEMs or third-party suppliers, or some very key stakeholders. Okay, the main purpose is for them to access the data or applications inside the intranet. So now we need to understand the difference. Intranet is only for the internal organization, and if somebody want to access that organization of a private company, then they have to come through an extranet.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next diagram it will clearly it will tell you. So you see here, this is individual users. So the individual users through internet they come to the company and they access the data. Or if the externet is if the company is having this way, then you can take, if somebody want to access, they go through the extranet and they access the data.
So
Now
Before,
basically,
extranet,
to
yeah,
sorry,
please.
yeah, the other person can ask. Sorry.
sorry for interrupting. I was asking a question, but I don't know. Before you move forward, I was wondering if you will share any documentation that support the course like this one or any other similar thing.
I'll share these slides with you after the class
Okay.
presentation. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So apart from this, what I'll do is I'll create a Google Drive, and I'll share the class slides there every day so that you can get access. Apart from the slides, I'll also be sharing the official books of CCNA. Like there are 3 4 authors, very good authors, which you can refer for that. But that will so if you want more understanding, like more understanding in the sense, like if you're preparing for exam and all, maybe you can refer. But otherwise the slides is more than enough for you to clear the interview or clear the exams.
Okay,
All right.
thank
Okay.
Okay. My
So
question was, to for external to work, you require some kind of ISP, isn't it? I mean, the internet. Without the
mhm.
internet, you cannot
No, no,
have
no.
extranet.
See, for example, now you are holding a company, and like let's take
Yeah.
you are working for a company called XYZ. So for internal users, it is extranet, and I'm your supplier. I'm your third party supplier, or you can assume that I'm a key stakeholder or
Yeah.
some business partner or OEM vendor or somebody. And if I need to access inside your database or inside your data center, I have to come through internet, right?
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
come through
Yeah.
the internet, there will be a firewall will be there. But at this point, I'll not talk about the firewall. So firewall is a device which will inspect your outside traffic, whether to allow or deny. If the rule says to
Yeah.
allow your IP, then it will allow, and you are allowed to access only that application which is intended for you.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So extranet is for the public outside of your organization, but only to a limited people like third-party suppliers, OEMs, and key stakeholders. Now let's talk about the internet. What is internet? Internet is global. Anybody
Global.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
anywhere from anywhere they can access, right? So that is the internet, communication with the worldwide. So no, when you are open to internet, so anybody can access anything as long as they have the internet connection. Clear?
Yeah.
So now let's rewind. Networking, intranet, extranet, and internet. I hope these terms are clear.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So let's talk about what is the network architecture. So what are the type of network architecture? So on the basis of the host role, on the basis of the geographical area, we can define the network architecture into three categories. On the basis, the first one is on the basis of the host role, and second one is on the basis of the geographical area, and third one is on the basis of the participation. Okay. Now it's broadly classified the architecture into three things. So let's see what is this. First one, on the basis of host role, like client. What do you mean by client? You must have heard about the client server, right? So
Yeah.
what is client? The client is the one that requests for the services, but he cannot provide the services, right? So he is the one who requests for the services. Like for example, now my laptop or my PC or my mobile is a client. I can only access like www.yahoo.com or google.com or Facebook or Gmail or app. So I can only request for the service, but I cannot provide services to anybody, right? So the thing that is the example of client. Client is the one which requests for the services, but he cannot provide the services. This is clear? Client.
So in broad aspect, when organizations refer to client is something like a customer to the business, isn't it?
See,
Or is it?
the wording is client and customer, consumer. These are all same, right? Client, customer,
Mhm.
consumer. So let's not relate that business terminology here. But what is client is one which requests for the service, like your laptop, your desktop, your
Okay.
mobile, which requests for some kind of a service, right? It will not provide the services, but it will request
Yeah.
something, right? When you go and type on your browser like www.yahoo.google.com, you request services from the Google.
Okay.
It cannot provide the services. Whereas
Yeah.
server is the one which provides the services. Like for example, when you are accessing amazon.com, www.amazon.com, you are going to the Amazon website and you are requesting services. So Amazon server is the one which is providing services to you, the web page to you.
Yeah.
But it will not request for services, right? It will accept the request, but it will not provide the request to you, like saying that Naresh is online now, I should go and ask him to make a connection to me. It's not like that, right? Only you have to make a connection to the website. Based on your connections, it will respond,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Now the next one is in client server. There is always one will be client and many servers will be there, or many clients or many servers or many clients and one service server will be there. Client server will always, client will request, server will provide the services. But there is one thing, peer to peer. Here there is no concept of server and client. Each device works like client or server. So any device can request or respond for a service at one point of the time. Like for example, devices can request and respond for services at the same time. Like examples, what is this examples? Can anybody tell me? Guess me. Here there is no
VM.
concept of server. Well, any device can respond, any device can work. So at same time.
Does this have to be physical or it could be virtual or both?
No, and I'm talking in terms of network.
Okay.
We are using our day to day. We are using our day to day.
Can you give an example of peer-to-peer connection in the real world?
Okay, I'll give an example. I said there is no concept of server or client. You take WhatsApp. You're using WhatsApp, right?
Yes.
We are using Skype.
Yes.
So this will enable us for to chat and make voice and video calls directly with each other. So do we need a server in between when we are making connections? We don't need, right? Devices can request and respond to service at the same time. So these are all
Yeah.
called P2P applications. The Skype or
Yeah.
Zoom or something like so. Those we don't require any server. We can directly make a connection between among ourselves, and we can chat. We can send the messages and anything like that, right? So you're not when I'm sending a PDF file to you, it's not coming from the server. It is coming from me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the one example of peer-to-P. Is this clear, guys? Client server and peer-to-P.
This is on the
Yes,
basis of host role, just the host role.
Yes, on the basis of the host role.
Yeah.
So let's not very particular about the host role or geographical area participation. This is widely thing, but when somebody says client server, usually we don't talk like basis or geographical area participation, but you should mainly you need to remember what is a client, what is a server. When somebody is saying that it is a peer-to-peer, so these are the things that you need to remember.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Somebody was asking the question. Okay. So this is a server. Maybe you must have seen in your offices or like it's a big box. It will be like in like different servers or different figures. But this is one of the servers which I've just taken from Wikipedia for your information. Even you can go and type in Google what is server, so you get similar kind of pictures. So this is a single server, and the next image which I'm showing, it is in a data center, where a data center is where you will have a racks, and in the racks you have number of servers mounted and one above one. So this is a typical data center picture. So if you guys are working in data centers, you must have seen this in your life.
Not
So
that neat though.
yeah, this is also like the way like the systems engineers or the network admins or the work in it's a day-to-day operation, or you can say it is a routine life for the routine picture, like so this is how it will be a data center. uh, so server, again, whatever the definition I have given, same thing. Server is a computer or device that provides the functional to other devices called clients. So this is called a client server technology. What is a client? It could be an end user like laptop or the mobiles or anything which requests service from the server. The client is a piece of computer, hardware or software that can request for a service. Okay. So now on the second classification, on the basis of geographical area. Now the first one which comes is a personal area network. So I think you must have heard about local area network, wide area network, but uh, I'm not sure whether you heard about personal area network. So this is the one, personal area network. So your Bluetooth, just now we spoke, right? Like what is the
Yeah.
difference between a Bluetooth and one? So Bluetooth comes under here, personal area network. It covers only less than 10 meters or 33 feet of area. Like for example, you can try, you can check, you can enable Bluetooth between two mobiles, and if you take your one other mobile more than 10 meters or above 33 feet, you lose the connectivity. So basically, PAN has your few users compared to other technologies. Typically, it uses some kind of a wireless technology. So like the examples which I can give it is headphones. You if you have a AirPods, if you have AirPods, like you connect to your mobile and you connect to your ears, right? So that
Yeah.
function under PAN. Your wireless mouse, wireless keyboard, or like sometimes like you have this wireless TV controller. So these all are the part of PAN. You can see, right? Wireless mouse and wireless printer, mobile, headphones, mobile charge, remote controller, and another laptop also. So these are all part of the personal area network, which is typically lesser than 10 meters.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at what is the advantages and disadvantages. So it's not required for you to remember or remember these things, but it is always good to know what is the advantages, what is the disadvantages. Like, because if you're a fresher and you are going for an entry level of a job in the network, so they definitely ask these kind of questions like what is PAN, what is advantage, disadvantages. You don't need to tell many, but at least one or two points, whatever here I'm mentioning, if you tell that, even one point is enough. Okay. So advantage is it is easy for communication because they're very close to each other. It can be set up very easy and quickly because all is just you have to enable your in a Bluetooth in your mobile or a hotspot or AirDrop, then it will connect very easily. You don't need high technical knowledge. You agree?
Yeah.
So it uses wireless technology, so you don't need a wire or anything like that, right? Like because if wireless mouse or wireless keyboard is there, you need to have extra wires. But here you're using wireless technology, so it is very used, and it is energy efficient because devices can communicate without with each other without draining the batteries. So that is one advantages. The main disadvantages. What is the disadvantages?
You
Can
can
you tell me?
you cannot connect to multiple devices at once.
No, limited coverage area.
Limited coverage. Yeah, yeah. 10
Yeah,
meters.
because limited. See, if you see here, you can connect like in my laptop. My laptop has a wireless headphone now, and wireless keyboard and wireless mouse. Sorry, mouse. So I have three devices connected to my laptop. So
Oh yeah.
there is no like so, but it has coverage, right? If I move my headphones, if I start talking, and if I move to other room, then you will get disconnected.
Yeah.
And other disadvantages, you cannot transfer large amount of data. Like if you're trying to GB of data, if you try to do it in a Bluetooth or thing, so it will not get. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
It will transfer, but it will take a lot of time to transfer the data. So one thing you need to disadvantage when it comes to PAN, the same thing is it will have a limited coverage. You cannot. Second one is you cannot transfer big amount of data.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is one thing about the PAN. Is this clear, PAN? Any questions here?
Not for me. Thank you.
Okay. Then let me move on to the next slide. So local area network, which we all know that like we all work in offices or colleges or everywhere. You go to an internet cafe or anywhere you wanted to connect to the internet, you use local area network. So the local area network is something like that. You have systems or servers. It will be all connected to a switch or hub. So at this point, let's forget what is switch, hub, or router. It will be all connected to our network devices, and that network devices will be having access to the internet or any other devices, right? So for example, if you take like local area network in your house, you have a router come modem, right? Like there is a cable which you can directly connect to your system, and from that system you can connect to multiple systems. So that's one example of local area network. So where the devices are connected, or like you have building where you have multiple floors and you have multiple people working in each floor, then all will be connected through the local LAN. Okay. So, so LAN is bigger than PAN when it comes to the geography. Like it will have the area like you can use LAN for less than 1 kilometer. Like for example, if you have one office here, and after that I can I can extend my cable up to 900 meters. I mean, close to 1 kilometer I can extend, and I can have the one more building where I can use the connections, right? So this is usually you can see lands, colleges, schools, offices, or schools. Okay, and compared to PAN, it will have a high data transfer rate, and it will not have a lower congestion, because the minimum speed or the minimum bandwidth, it will be 10 Mbps, 100 Mbps. So we'll talk about what is 100 Mbps and all in subsequent slides, but it can handle any number of data with high transfer rate. So any question here?
So LAN could be both physical, I mean, like with wired and without wire, right?
Yes,
Or
yes, yes. Yeah, wire and wireless. See, typically you take a bank, you go there, you people all are be connected to, everybody will be working, right? So they all be browsing internet, and they all be working with the internet. So how they are connected? They all connected through either wired or wireless. So you can call that as a LAN.
yeah.
So the smallest LAN, so like you can say that at least you should have minimum of two laptops or two computers, and the maximum is you can have thousands of computers connected. And LAN has a range of 1 to 2 kilometer. So that's the one thing. So that is the same thing which I was telling. So the data transfer will be very fast, and it will carry any amount of data. There is no specific limit for the like generally it will not have any limit on carrying the data to the. So LAN, you have to remember that it is also a local area network, which is usually buildings, offices, colleges. The range will be 1 to 2 kilometers, and it can transfer the data at very high speed at a bigger data. So almost in most of the cases, LAN connections will be an Ethernet cable. You must have seen Ethernet cable, right?
Yeah.
RJ45 cable. You heard of it?
RJ, yeah.
Yeah, so those are the cables usually used. So these are the cables so what you are seeing, the blue lines here, these are the Ethernet cables or RJ45 cables, which will be used to connect between two systems. Have you seen the RJ45 cable, Ethernet cable? Let me check if I can show you here.
Are they part of this curriculum as well? I mean, all the types of connections or
Yes, 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 yes.
okay.
These are the cables. So these are the cables, right? You have seen these cables, right?
RJ45. Yeah.
These are the RJ40. They call it as RJ45 also, and these are the cables that will be used to connect the two network devices, right? So these are the cables. This is what I was explaining here. So using these cables, you will be connecting the different systems. So advantages, it provides a fast data transfer rate at a high speed. Like I said, it will provide data transfer will be very fast and at a high speed communication. It is easy to set up and manage. And third one is, you can use the LAN for connecting the external devices like scanners and printers, right? Okay, so peripheral devices means like external devices like printers and scanners. So it provides the security and fault tolerance compared to WAN. So that we will discuss this point. I'll come back when I'm talking about the WANs. So fault tolerance and security, increased security, because why is increased security? Since it is only used in internal, right? So that is the reason I'm using the word increased security. It is not exposed to the public. That's why it has got some increased security compared to WAN. So geographic disadvantage, it is limited to geographical coverage. That means you cannot extend LAN for more than 1 kilometer. What will
Yeah.
happen after 1 kilometer?
The speed reduces.
The speed reduces, or data might not travel, or speed might reduce, but it will reach, but there is no guarantee. Okay,
Yeah.
limited geographical coverage, scalability. So it is not that flexible. Okay, uh, But this point we can just for the sake of some disadvantages we have to see. So that's it here. But only the disadvantage with LAN is that it has got a limited geographical area. Now the third thing, is it clear? LAN and PAN. PAN, it is a less than 10 meters, very easy to set up. Whereas LAN is the coverage will be up to 1 kilometer. So it is got faster data rate at high speed. Okay, so faster data transfer at a high speed. Now let's talk about WAN. So what is a WAN? Now we have
Wide
a
area
office
network.
wide area network. Fantastic. So you have a office here. Like for example, I have an office in India, Bangalore, and I have one more office is in New York. So if my two people want to communicate, so how they will be connected? Through internet, that is through wide area network. So two or more networks, two LANs, if they want to talk to each other, they need a WAN, right?
Yep.
Okay. So here you see here I have one office. Okay, you can take branch 1. This is my branch 2, and this is my branch 3, and this is my branch 4. Or like I can have n number of branches. If I want to talk to them, I have to go through my WAN. This is my local area network, and this is one more LAN. Each branch is considered as a one local area network, and this is one local area network. Local area network means the traffic will be confined locally to this branch or this building or this office. Now if I want to connect to other branches, then I need to use a WAN connection, wide area network. And now the largest WAN that is in existence is nothing but your internet. So in CCNA, mainly focus on LAN and WAN. So you'll understand more in deep what you meant by WAN and other things. But as of now, you understood, right? What is WAN?
Yep.
Okay. So there is no distant limitation for WAN. Okay. In
Yep.
PAN, we have a distance limitation of 10. In LAN, we have 1 kilometer. But in WAN, you can connect any part of the globe as long as you have internet connectivity. For example, I am here in Bangalore, and if tomorrow somebody opens a office in Amazon forest, and if as long as that office has the internet connectivity, I can still able to make a connection to that. So how are the different organizations are working together? Like how are they? It is happening. It is all happening through the wide area networks. Like you have, like, let me take TCS or Capgemini, anything. They have the offices all over the globe, right? And they're connected to the clients. So how are they operating? They all are operating through the wide area network. So now you understood why every organization needs a network engineer.
Yes.
Any organization which needs internet or which needs to access the external resource, they need network engineer. See, then there is one more difference which I want to tell. The server, like in server, like if you take, there will be hundreds of server. Even if one server goes down, hardly some 10 to 15 users or some users who are connected to that server will get affected. But if WAN link fail, entire building, entire office will close down. Let's assume this. Now, this is your office. There are 1,000 users are working and there are 1,000 servers are there. If 100 servers are gone down or something happened to the server, still people will be able to work, right? And the moment if the WAN link cuts, then what will happen? Everything, this complete building will get isolated from the internet. Nobody will be able to access. Okay, so it covers more than, there is no distant limitation. It any part of globe you can extend the WAN connectivity as long as your internet provided. So we use WAN to share the data. Data means like information or voice and images or videos or something, any kind of information you can share over a long distance. So many organization, not many, every organization uses WAN connectivity to talk to their branches or the suppliers or the vendors or to to anybody they wanted to communicate outside the world, they need WAN connection. I hope this is clear.
Yes,
Yep.
but I have a question.
Yes, please.
Thank you for explaining that so far. It's very clear. I wanted to know how do they manage to connecting those different offices in different cities while not being managing the cables themselves? The second question is, it looks like the connection between those offices are close to each other, not to the outside internet. Does that mean they never talk to the internet and they have everything they need within their organization in terms of information and everything?
Sorry, your voice, I mean, there is a lot of disturbances in the voice transmission. Uh, so what I interpret it is that, so how do they communicate, right? So how does the officers communicate? Is that the question?
Sorry about that. I was using headphones. I've removed them. I don't know about now if I'm clear
Okay.
enough.
Now it's very clear. Yeah.
Okay. So I was wondering how those organizations are managing to connect those different offices that are now maybe in different cities, not
Mm-hmm.
being cables themselves, because most of them are not, cable, managers. Also wondering if the connection is close, as I can see in the picture, and if they did never speak to the outside internet.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So what happens here is there is a device called, this is a router. So we talk more on that. So there what happens is you get connection to your service provider, right?
Mm-hmm.
There will be a connection which will go to your service provider, and service provider will be connected to the internet. From that internet, there will be a routing table will be there which will route to the destination. And if you coming back to your question, like what will happen if this link goes? So usually organizations will not have one link. This is just an example I was giving. Organization will always have a backup links. That means there will have a two or two links. So any case, if this link goes, they'll have a backup link to reach. Right?
Okay.
Example I can give. Many of our houses have a electricity from the supplier, but at the same time we do have inverters, batteries at our home, right? To avoid ourselves from complete blackout, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same way, every organization will not rely on one link. It will have multiple wings. Even like maybe in home we have one link, but offices always will have multiple links. So even if one link or one line goes down, they'll be having still the reachability.
Okay, thank you. Also, just to be clear, how do they create those links? Do they pay, the ISP to create those links for them? Or how do they manage to create those links between their offices?
See, that is how you get the links from the service providers, ISPs.
Oh, okay.
So what will happen is usually here it will happen. So like for example, let's take which are the two things. Verizon. You all know Verizon, right?
Mm, Verizon.
Service provider. Okay. And let me take, since you guys are from US, like Verizon and AT&T, these are the two service providers. What I'll do is I won't take service from the two lines from the one company, because if something happens with AT&T, then my both the links will go down, right? I'll be isolated. Usually what organizations do, they want to go for a redundancy or to avoid from the blackout. One link I will take it from AT&T link. Suppose if anything happens on the AT&T, still my other link which is to Verizon will be alive. That's how they design.
Okay,
Yeah. So
thank you.
this is like advance of our routing and switching. So I'm just giving, like, since you asked me the question, so usually that's how the design goes. Like they don't go with the one single vendor for two links. What is the point? Like if I'm taking from AT&T, assume that if something goes in AT&T point of exchange, so my both links will go down, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I go for other vendor, wherein even if something happens with AT&T, I'll still have the connectivity to the other link. So
Yeah.
just let me see if I can. What is the paint? What is it? Big pen. So, so guys, sorry, this is not related, but I'm just trying to explain. Okay. Now, I don't want to name the company because it is against the NDA. So now what will happen here is this is city. Okay, let's take this is one city or one country or kind of a thing. This is one country. Okay, now outer bar. Now what happens? This is company. Let's take this as ABC. How the links will happen is okay. So I take this is the some AT&T AT&T and this is Verizon. So Verizon, okay, you can call Verizon, okay. Now what happens is they take link from this thing and they'll terminate here customer location, okay. Now when Verizon is coming, so let's take like Verizon is here only. Let's example, let's me give Verizon is here. Now what they do is customer will ask them not to come in this route. They can come in the same route, like right, this is the like this is the duct or this is the underground cable which is already there. They will not allow the customer, they allow the ask the customer to do the routing completely different. So Verizon will what why they will not allow is because if something canal is going or something is happening, if something happens then both the links will go down, right? So what they'll ask Verizon to come in a different route altogether from different route or different country, so that if even this link goes down, this link they can still line or link we called it is reachable.
Okay.
Okay, so in your city if they are taking the service from the two service provider, they will always ensure that one is coming in different direction and one will be coming other direction. And there
Okay.
is always in UK there is always an agreement between the service providers. For example, now let me scrap up this one. So if if this is customer place and this is the country or city, always they ensure that one will follow this way and other supplier will follow this way. They will never cross the path. Even if they are crossing it, they'll ensure that if anything happens to the one path, it will not affect their path. So that's how they take a lot of consideration in selecting the WAN links.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, advantages. It covers large distance, like okay, as we see, provides connectivity to the internet. That's fine. A remote access, resource applications, as I said, like any part of the globe, any part of the thing, like you can access and you can share the resources. Um, it can support multiple users. That's all we know. It is very expensive compared to LAN. WAN is expensive because we are using the internet links, right? You pay by the amount of the data that you're traveling, or the data is traversing through the link. So it is very expensive compared to LAN. But the data rate, the data transmission rate is very slow compared to LAN. Okay, so LAN you can transfer minimum the speed that you can transfer is from 100 Mbps to gigabits of speed you can transfer. But here, when it comes to WAN, the speed will be 10 Mbps or maximum to 100 Mbps. Okay, so what will happen if the more distance is there, then the time it takes for the data to reach the destination will be takes more. So there is kind of some kind of a latency will be there, but that is all now it's solved. It is not there. It was there in the legacy applications or legacy system links, but now it's just not there. So only thing you need to remember is it is bit expensive and the data transfer rate is slower than LAN. Okay.
VPN comes under WAN, isn't it?
No, VPN is a part of WAN because what is a VPN? VPN is a virtual network over the public network. Public network is something like internet. So on
Yeah.
that one, you will be building a private tunnel.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it works on the concept of WAN, isn't it?
Yes, it's WAN. It's a part of WAN.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So now the other thing is metropolitan area network. Any idea before I start explaining man?
Never heard of it, to be honest.
Okay. So it is similar to local area network, but it can spread across entire city or campus. What is the maximum distance that LAN can have? 1 kilometer, right?
Yeah.
But with a MAN, you can go beyond 1 kilometer. MANs are bigger than the LANs, but it is smaller than the WANs. That means it has a limited capacity. Now you see here, LAN 1, this is hospital LAN, college LAN, or factory LAN, and this is all different. They can exchange in the same city. So multiple offices, multiple, like I have an organization, like for example, I have branches at 40 kilometers, 30 kilometers around the same city, then I can use a metropolitan area network, MAN network that we called. So basically, typically in real time, if you talk about the MAN, which is used by the service providers to provide the internet access to the our DSL. You heard about DSL, digital subscriber line, through which we get all internet, right? You all got internet at your homes, right?
Yep.
Those are the concept of MAN only.
Right.
Metropolitan network. So what happens here is, this is again bit on a higher side. So what happens, you, if you like AT&T, you take AT&T. So now this is a city which is 100 square meters, 100 kilometers range. So this is one part, and this is other part. I'm just giving an example how the MAN will be. Now they all are 100 kilometers range. Okay. So these are all the same city, okay, or same campus. You can college campus or university campus. But now these guys, one, two, three, four, they want to talk or communication want to happen, so they use through WAN. That is called WAN. Sorry, MAN. What I'm saying. This means AT&T will have the point of presence exchanges here, and from there the subscribers will be getting the internet connection. Here also they'll have some point of exchanges. So from there it will get that same thing. So it is inside a city or a campus, big campus. Here they are not using the WAN; they're using the cables on the LAN cables.
Did we not say that LAN cables have a limitation of 900 meters?
So that is a Ethernet cable. You have a fiber cable.
All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So what happens is generally, any supplier, service provider, what they'll do is they will have some point, they will have their head office, right? Service provider. They'll have service provider head office, then they'll have point of presence or exchanges, mini
Yes.
exchanges, right?
Yes.
Mini exchanges. So I can call it as point of presence or mini exchanges. So it will be, no, these all will be connected through fiber. That is metro area network. So this is also connected to the metro area network, fiber link, which is having 1000 Gbps data also it can transfer. Now what happens here? From here, this is exchange, right? Thousands of customers will be serviced like this. This is how our internet will come to our home. You don't get connection directly from the service provider, right? You get it from
Yep.
the local exchange. You agree?
Yep.
Others, please, you got this concept? Hello?
Hello?
Did you understand? I mean, like, is it clear? What about man?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so it can be, again, it has limited capacity. It can be from 5 kilometer to 50 kilometers. It could be in same cities or different cities, but the distance should be lesser than 50 kilometers. What is the advantage? It provides higher speed, compared to LAN, because LAN has the capacity of 1 kilometer, whereas MAN has got more than up to 50 kilometers we can go. Usually used by ISP for multiple customers. I just explained in the diagram that ISP will be in the NOC center or somewhere, and they will have a point of presence, and from there it will be all the connections will be going to the customers. Offer higher data transfer rates, WAN, because it's almost like a LAN. It is LAN, so the data speed can be 100 Mbps to 1000 Gbps also it can get it. It is very expensive, but it is difficult to maintain. May experience congestion and network with increased usage. So this is out of syllabus. What I'm telling is, when you get an internet connection from supplier, like a DSL, we call that. So the same DSL, digital subscriber line, that we call in a modern day. What happens is when you get a connection, how it will be, right? I'll draw a little diagram here. This is your local exchange, or you could have seen some kind of a box near your street or something. Have you seen something,
Yeah.
telephone exchange near? So there
Yes.
it will
Yes.
have a lot of lines will be there. Lot of lines will be there. That we call it as a one card. So this will be going to the customer 1, this will be going to the customer 10, and all will be punched to one point, one port. We call it as a one port. So these all will be connected to one port. So that means the data, whatever it is having 10, it will be divided one, everything will be divided in this port. So not everybody will be getting the speed. So based on that usage, it will be fluctuating between each line. Though they say that it is 100 Mbps upload and download, when you check that, at times it varies. It will not always will be 100 Mbps, because the same port will be serving for the rest of the customers. Like how many ports they're using it, the service provider will decide. Is it clear? You must have seen the telephone boxes near our street corners. Let me show that one, if at all, if I can get that. So, what is that? So this type of things you must have seen, right? Oh, DSL. So this is the one thing which I wanted to show. No, this one I'm not getting the figure. You must have seen these figures. I don't know, like whether in US, I think it is everywhere same. Like this is the thing that telephone boxes, it will be there. So here you can see, right? Here you can see on the right hand side, like bigger picture you can see. So this is where your internet lines will come and will terminate here. Here this portion, what I am showing it. Can you see that numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where like
Yes.
each one will be going to the port. So one port will be serving for 10 customers. Okay, so that is the one thing which about I was talking. So security, which is less because it is going through the city. So that's why we have to say it is less security. So this is one slide where whatever we have discussed, it is in a single slide where you can see what are the differences between LAN, MAN, and WAN. Okay, so all the points, same points. It is I just put it here for your references. So LAN 1 kilometer to 10 kilometer. No, it's only 1 kilometer. MAN is 100 kilometers, and WAN is beyond 100 kilometers. LAN has got high speed. MAN has got modern data speed compared to LAN. WAN is got low speed. This is one thing you have to think about it. So there is one more thing. called campus area network. So what is that campus area network? Have you heard of campus area network? What is campus?
It's a premises a limit. I mean, a limited premises
Yes, exactly. So campus,
like universities, etc.
yeah, I like usually we call campus as universities, right? Right.
Yep.
Campus or like military campus. We call it military also campus, right? Because you're not military is also we can call it as a bigger area, right? Two or
Yep.
more lands with a geographical area. So, for example, here you see this is my university network, campus network. I have academic buildings. I have a library. I have a hostel. I have examination. I have admission selection. If you see university, every university will be very big, right? Right? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So this academic building is for all academic admissions. It is one more land. Admission section is one more land. Examination is one more. Hostel will have one more land. So all this will be connected through a campus network, which is dedicated only for this area. For example, you can take any university, that cable management and everything will be limited to that company. Okay. Corporate. So for example, here you see all buildings are connected. So here if you see military base, so military, they don't allow the public to access. So here administrative, here facilities, here this hospitals, fortifications. So these are all the universities or military, they use campus network for their internal communications. Is it clear?
Yes.
Right? So what